Welcome back to another episode of today's economic news. I'm your host, John, and today we've got a story that should make you sit up and pay attention. We are diving into the troubling disconnect between political rhetoric and real-world action. In the aftermath of a tragic event in Sydney, Australia, following a horrifying terror attack, the tone taken by Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, has sparked widespread backlash and left many questioning the seriousness with which our leaders are treating the rise of anti-Semitism. Stick around as we unpack the implications of this disconnect and why we, as a society, should be demanding more accountability from those in power. Now, imagine this. There has been a 300% increase in anti-Semitic incidents in Australia and a 315% surge in the United States over the past 5 years. Imagine if burglary in your neighborhood increased by that much. Would you feel safe? Would you feel heard if, in response to these alarming stats, your local leaders responded with a light-hearted joke about the local sports team winning? This is essentially what happened as Schumer delivered condolences for the 16 fatalities and 40 hospitalizations resulting from the attack, immediately segueing into celebrating a football victory. This reaction raises a significant concern. Are our leaders truly grasping the gravity of the anti-Semitic surge, or are they simply going through the motions? To understand the context, let's take a step back. The issue of anti-Semitism is deeply rooted in historical, political, and social dynamics, both domestically and globally. Since the civil rights movement in the U.S., there's been progress in combating hate-based violence and protecting marginalized communities through legislation. Yet here we are, facing a resurgence in anti-Semitic acts. Why? Geopolitical tensions in the Middle East have polarized opinions to a point where anti-Semitism can disguise itself as mere political dissent. When events like the Sydney attack occur, it does more than threaten the safety of Jewish communities. It showcases the ongoing debates about identity, freedom of speech, and governmental responsibility. In Australia alone, the Jewish community has been facing a 300% increase in hate and violence incidents over the last 2 years, closely linked to the tensions surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This isn't just a local issue. The narrative affects Jewish communities worldwide and reflects the inadequacies in current political responses. Despite the rise in these incidents, leaders like Schumer have failed to adopt a tone and a policy that genuinely confronts this crisis. Let's turn to some hard data. Over 2 years, anti-Semitic incidents in Australia rose by 300%. Put this in perspective. Consider your local grocery store crime rate, increasing by the same percentage. It translates to an undeniable daily fear for the communities targeted. Yet, what do we get from our political leaders? A mix of condolence followed by levity. Just imagine saying, "I'm sorry for your loss. By the way, my team had a great win last night." It's outrageous. And this isn't just about the numbers. Schumer stated, "I'm going to say a few words about the terrible shooting in Sydney, Australia. And first, of course, as I always say, go Bills. They beat the Patriots today. It's a big deal. Is this the leadership we deserve?" Politicians like Schumer seem to be missing the point. This isn't a time for jokes or light-hearted remarks. This is a crisis that demands sober and decisive action. It reflects a broader pattern of political insensitivity, a trend where leaders prioritize media appearances and public standing over genuine concern and strategy. Now, let's dive into the libertarian angle here, because these issues touch on fundamental freedoms and responsible governance. When faced with rising anti-Semitism, the misallocation of governmental resources becomes alarmingly apparent. Here we have bureaucrats prioritizing securing public approval over deploying effective protective measures. It's seen as a form of theft, depriving us of the safety and security we are taxed for, eroding public trust, and increasing societal tensions. Furthermore, this situation is indicative of government incompetence. The failure to address anti-Semitism seriously undermines the public's trust in their leaders. People demand actions that eliminate threats, not rhetoric that underlines incompetence. The ineptitude in addressing these societal issues speaks volumes about a systemic failure that needs immediate correction. Lastly, consider the loss of liberty. Rioters don a cloak of political dissent to spread hate. while leaders stand silent. As anti-Semitism rises, so do fears of violence and discrimination among Jewish communities. This fear stifles the freedom to live and celebrate one's identity openly and safely. Governmental inadequacies in curbing such hate speech indeed infringe upon basic civil liberties. In closing, this story isn't just about a poorly timed comment. It's about systemic failures in addressing hate and protecting communities. The alarming increase in anti-Semitic violence needs serious attention and real action from leaders. If you, like many others, are tired of seeing leaders gloss over significant issues with cavalier attitudes, then it's time to demand accountability. If you're fed up with paying for their mistakes, hit subscribe to stay informed. Together, we can push for change. Thanks for watching, and remember, the change starts with us.